Are there any secret rooms that we can't see? Okay.
That's the only
Do you know where the other ones are? The secret rooms?
secret room.
Yeah, behind a wall or something like that or anything?
FBI findings inside Michael Jackson's mansion are one of those stories that seem familiar until you look closer. Oh, well, there's also a door. Behind the gates of Neverland Ranch, investigators entered a private world built on control, privacy, and isolation. Hidden rooms and secured spaces quickly became the focus of global speculation. Michael Jackson was one of the most famous people on the planet. Turns out he was also the target of intensive FBI scrutiny. Reports and leaked documents shaped the narrative, but what was confirmed and what was assumed still remains unclear. This is the untold story behind the secrets and controversies linked to Neverland Ranch. Neverland raided morning. The serenity of Michael Jackson's private paradise was shattered on November 18, 2003 as a fleet of police vehicles stormed the gates of Neverland Ranch. While the King of Pop was in Las Vegas, approximately 70 investigators from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, Music, and the District Attorney's Office executed a significant search warrant that would change the estate's legacy forever. Officers spent hours systematically searching the 2,700-acre property, focusing heavily on the 13,000 cubic-feet main mansion. Official reports and seized property logs confirm that authorities removed dozens of items, including computer hard drives, personal files, and various media storage devices. Video camera. To gain access to certain areas, investigators employed a locksmith to bypass advanced safety locks, including a hidden closet in the master suite where a laptop was recovered. While the defense later criticized the heavy-handed tactics of the raid, citing the disruption of the home, law enforcement maintained that the scale of the operation was necessary to preserve potential evidence. Despite the intensity of the search and the subsequent forensic analysis by the FBI, no incriminating material was found on the seized hardware, contributing to Jackson's eventual acquit. Now, it's time for today's topic. At a tense press conference, an FBI spokesperson points to a screen showing a major breakthrough. Next to a portrait of Michael Jackson, an image shows federal agents digging in a hidden courtyard and uncovering something buried deep beneath the house. Some claim it was Michael's mansion. And the discovery has fueled new speculation about long-standing rumors surrounding the pop star's death and private life. What do you think this is suggesting? Share your thoughts in the comments. Lower Tours Estate. Beyond the legal chaos of the 2003 raid, Neverland functioned as a sprawling tribute to the wonders of childhood imagination. In a rare 2009 walkthrough, Matt Lauer explored the 13,000 cubic-feet Normandy-style mansion showcasing a home designed for ultimate seclusion. The interior featured a custom-built movie theater with private viewing boxes, and a master bathroom, where water famously cascaded from a ceiling-mounted faucet into an infinity tub. Unlike a traditional residence, the house was filled with live-size statues and specialized rooms meant for entertaining guests away from the public eye so that Michael could push this to enter this area or anyone else. By 2017, raw footage revealed a quieter, rebranded Sycamore Valley Ranch. Although the carnival rides and exotic zoo animals had been removed, the infrastructure of Jackson's fantasy remained. The iconic floral clock and the Neverland Valley Railroad tracks still traced the perimeter of the meticulously landscaped gardens. The property retains its 4-acre lake with a 5-foot waterfall and stone bridges alongside the Giving Tree, a massive oak where Jackson frequently climbed to compose music. The estate stands as a silent architectural record of the King of Pop's eccentric and isolated lifestyle. Secret vault rooms. Behind the ornate woodwork of Michael Jackson's private quarters lay a complex network of security features that functioned more as a private sanctuary than a standard family home. During the 2003 investigation, detectives bypassed standard entryways to focus on a concealed door in the master bedroom, which led to a hidden secured closet area. This wasn't just a space for a wardrobe. It functioned as a secure modern storage center. A locksmith was required to breach the secure interior locks, revealing a reinforced private closet where Jackson kept his most sensitive possessions, including the personal laptop that investigators spent months analyzing for evidence. Music. The search didn't stop at the bedroom walls on this wall here, and it reveals a secret section of this closet. Authorities meticulously mapped out a reinforced panic room and a two-story storage unit tucked away from the main floor plan, both built into the architectural design for security purposes. While internet rumors frequently spin sensationalized tales of shocking secret basements, official evidence logs paint a more technical picture. FBI files and lead investigators later clarified that these vaults were structurally standard security rooms, and despite exhaustive forensic searches, no illegal materials or incriminating secret stashes were ever recovered within these hidden spaces. These were specialized chambers designed for extreme privacy and the protection of a massive collection of statues and media archives. Bedroom drugstore found. The sanctuary of the world's most famous entertainer was revealed to be a clinical maze during the 2003 raid, leaving investigators stunned by what lay behind the bedroom door. The master suite was described by detectives as a literal drugstore cluttered with an alarming array of prescription medications, medical supplies, and advanced equipment. Rather than the luxury typical of a multi-millionaire, the space was dominated by oxygen tanks, 4 stands, and music bags of saline solutions scattered near the bed. This chaotic medical setup provided a jarring contrast to the opulent architecture of the rest of the mansion that were found in and around Michael Jackson's bedroom not too long after he died. It is a common misconception that the heavy anesthetic propofol was the focus of the 2003 raid. In reality, while a vast array of medications were logged in 2003, the discovery of Propal, which Jackson referred to as his milk, became the central evidence only later during the 2009 death investigation. The sheer volume of pharmaceuticals recovered suggested a life sustained by heavy sedation and a revolving door of medical professionals. While Jackson's team maintained these supplies were necessary for chronic insomnia, the evidence logs painted music, a grim picture of a man living in clinical isolation. This investigation transformed the bedroom from a private retreat into a competitive pharmacy. Art books, music, debate. The shelves of Neverland Ranch housed a massive collection of literature that became a controversial music focus of the 2003 investigation. Detectives documented thousands of volumes ranging from classical art history to rare photography, music, many of which were seized as evidence. A leaked police report later categorized specific art books, particularly those featuring classical depictions of the human form, music, as grooming tools, suggesting the imagery was used to desensitize young guests. This interpretation framed Jackson's library not as a scholarly pursuit, but as a calculated component of a music-controlled environment. However, the defense argued that these titles were standard works found in public libraries and museums worldwide. The collection included Renaissance art, photography by renowned artists, and anatomy books, music used by art students globally. While the imagery was provocative to investigators, the music, FBI's forensic review did not find the illegal material they sought. Finally, the music debate over Jackson's library pointed out the tension between viewing the estate as a curated art gallery or music, a site of strategic manipulation, leaving the books as a heavily debated remnant of his lifestyle. Bedroom alarm system. Security at the King Music of Pop's residence was not just about keeping people out. It was about monitoring movement within the inner sanctum. During the 2005 trial, filmmaker Larry Nimmer provided video evidence demonstrating a sophisticated early warning system built into the architecture. The most notorious feature was a hidden alarm on the walkway leading to the master suite, music designed to alert anyone inside of an approaching visitor. This pressure-sensitive or infrared chime ensured Jackson had time to music prepare before anyone reached his private quarters. Former staff testified these alarms were part of a rigid protocol that kept the master bedroom effectively off-limits. The New York Times reported the system was so sensitive it could detect footfalls, music long before a guest reached the door. While the defense argued these measures were necessary for a superstar obsessed with privacy, prosecutors framed the alarms as a strategic tool to prevent unannounced music interruptions. This high-tech barrier transformed the suite into an impenetrable fortress, marking the boundary between the public's fantasy and the controlled reality inside. Toys arcade decor. Walking through the gates of Neverland was like stepping into a living storybook where the lines between a private estate, music, and a public theme park vanished. The centerpiece of this fantasy was a massive 14,000 music feet arcade filled with flashing lights from hundreds of games, including music, vintage pinball, and motion simulators. Footage from a 2004 Christmas party showcased music, a space team miming with life-sized superhero statues, and meticulously maintained carousel horses. For Jackson, these were not just collectibles. They were the building music blocks of a childhood he felt he had been denied. However, during the 2003 raid, this whimsical decor took on a music clinical tone for investigators. They documented child-sized mannequins posed in various rooms and Disney music memorabilia covering nearly every surface. While fans saw a sanctuary music of pure imagination, prosecutors viewed the extravagant toy collections as a calculated environment designed to lure young guests. When the vast collection was eventually catalogued for auction, music, the world saw the sheer scale of the estate, a surreal monument to Peter Pan syndrome. Garage vehicles found. Tucked away within the nondescript maintenance buildings of Neverland Ranch, sat a multi-million-dollar automotive gallery that perfectly mirrored the strange behaviors of its owner. When law enforcement swarmed the property, they didn't just find standard luxury sedans. They discovered a fleet including a custom-painted Peter Pan ferret truck and the 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood from the film Driving Miss Daisy. The most striking discovery was a massive limousine featuring an interior hand-designed by Jackson himself. This rolling palace was adorned with gold leaf, red velvet, and ornate wood carvings, making it feel more like a royal carriage than a modern vehicle. While the garage showcased Jackson's love for cinematic history, it also became a focal point for forensic teams. They searched every vehicle for hidden compartments, including a specialized police-style motorcycle and several vintage horse-drawn carriages. Although the scale of the collection was staggering, the intense search of the garage, much like the rest of the estate, failed to yield the specific criminal evidence sought by the prosecution. Secret warehouse vault. Locked away in a massive nondescript building sits a secret treasure trove that looks like the ultimate museum of pop culture history. While the public focused on Neverland, a 60-minute special revealed that Michael Jackson had quietly amassed a secondary collection, music, in a confidential warehouse. This facility housed thousands of items from the iconic Thriller jacket and glittering gloves to personal childhood drawings and stage costumes. The volume was amazing. Preserved in a climate-controlled environment to protect what many consider the most valuable music memorabilia in existence. For his estate, this warehouse represented more than nostalgia. It was a billion-dollar asset requiring meticulous cataloging. Beyond stage props, the facility contained rare gifts from world leaders, custom music furniture, and one-of-a-kind art acquired during global tours. This hidden vault serves as a time capsule of a 4-decade career, proving the king of pop was constantly building a massive physical history. Today, these items are carefully managed, appearing in worldwide exhibitions that allow fans to witness the history of a man who spent his life collecting the extraordinary Mother's House chaos. When a convoy of police vehicles suddenly swarmed the Havenhurst estate in Enino, the quiet dignity of the Jackson family's ancestral home vanished in an instant. This wasn't a standard patrol. officers were responding to reports of a physical altercation that had broken out among the siblings and grandchildren. As law enforcement breached the gates, they stepped into a domestic war zone fueled by years of simmering tension over Michael's massive estate and the guardianship of his 3 children. Chaos erupted in the driveway, with leaked security footage capturing a heated confrontation that looked more like a tabloid headline than a family reunion. This intervention dragged the Jacksons' private legal feuds into the unforgiving light of public scrutiny, exposing deep fractures within the dynasty. While the sirens eventually faded without any immediate arrests, the police presence at Catherine Jackson's sanctuary signaled a total collapse of the family's inner circle. It was a grim reminder that not even the most famous gates in Hollywood could provide a shield when grief and financial disputes finally reached a violent breaking point. Maid's secret testimony. The domestic life of Michael Jackson was often as theatrical as his public performances. But for those working inside his mansion, the experience was a subject of intense scrutiny. Adrienne McManus, a housemaid employed in the early 1990s, provided interviews with 60 Minutes Australia, offering a perspective on the King of Pop's music habits that differed from his public image. McManus described a household governed by elevated standards, where her duties brought her into the master suite. She claimed to have observed interactions involving young guests that she interpreted as grooming. Though these claims are heavily contested, McManus stated the mansion's security protocols were designed to monitor movement and ensure absolute privacy. She also shared observations from Jackson's marriage to Lisa Marie Presley, suggesting certain scenes felt performative. However, her testimony remains one of the most polarizing aspects of the Neverland legacy. Legal experts often point out that she was never called as a witness in the 2005 trial, as the prosecution had concerns regarding the consistency of her accounts over the years. While her accounts are a controversial part of the estate's history, they reflect the polarized environment surrounding Neverland. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Now, back to the next. Chandler allegations emerge. The legal storm that would eventually consume Michael Jackson's career began with a single quite specific accusation in 1993. Jordan Chandler, then 13 years old, provided a graphic description of Jackson's genitalia, a claim that triggered a court-ordered 25-minute physical examination of the singer by authorities. While prosecutors argued that the sketches provided by Chandler matched the forensic photographs, the defense highlighted that the description did not account for Jackson's vitiligo in the specific way the forensic photos showed. And they noted Chandler's claim that Jackson was circumcised was factually incorrect according to medical records. "I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false." As local authorities built their case, the FBI launched a massive decade-long investigation into Jackson's life and professional circle. Thousands of pages of released bureau files revealed that federal agents tracked Jackson across international borders, monitoring his travel and conducting forensic analysis on dozens of seized hard drives and electronic devices. Despite this exhaustive scrutiny, the FBI's final reports concluded that they found no evidence of criminal activity or illegal materials. The 1993 civil suit was eventually settled for $23 million, but the shadow of the investigation remained. Today, Jordan Chandler lives a life of total anonymity, having legally changed his name and moved abroad to escape the reputation of the case. FBI files released. Years of whispers regarding the king of pop culminated in the release of over 600 declassified bureau documents, offering a clinical look at a decade of surveillance. While headlines teased explosive revelations, the actual files tell a story of exhaustive dead ends and the dark reality of being a global target. Agents tracked everything from interstate travel to obscure tabloid clippings. Yet the records confirm that after 10 years of forensic scrutiny, including the analysis of 16 confiscated hard drives, the FBI found no evidence of criminal conduct. Beyond the molestation probes, the files exposed the terrifying music price of Jackson's fame. I love the people. I will always love the people. My children were born in this community. My home is in this community. Large portions of the dossier detail serious threats from extortionists and obsessed fans, including a man who threatened a mass casualty event at a 1992 concert. While rumors of secret files containing proof of a music hush money payments surface in tabloids, the official bureau records remain a document of vindication for Jackson's estate. These papers reveal a man under the microscope of the law and the crosshairs of criminals, proving the most unsettling discovery was how vulnerable the world's biggest star truly was. Bed-sharing admissions surrounding the global superstar, music, was a whirlwind of controversy that peaked following his own candid admissions in a 2003 television documentary. During a series of filmed interviews, Jackson openly defended music, his practice of sharing his bed with young guests. Color cuck is on this side. His sister's in there. We are all just jamming the bed. Describing the act as a beautiful and innocent music gesture of love and companionship. This revelation sent shock waves through the public as the singer explained that he viewed such moments as purely platonic, drawing a sharp contrast music between his perspective and the societal norms regarding boundaries. Across the globe, the reaction was immediate and deeply divided, with many viewing his statements as a disturbing, nasty secret hidden in plain sight. While Jackson insisted that his intentions were misunderstood and rooted in his own lost childhood, the admission became a cornerstone of the legal and social scrutiny music that would follow him for years. This public declaration stripped away the whimsical veneer of his private life, forcing the world to confront the complex music and often unsettling reality behind the gates of his sanctuary. What he saw as an act of kindness, others perceived as a dangerous breach of trust, music forever altering his public image. Police custody nightmare. It was a nightmare, a shaken Michael Jackson declared to the world, standing before cameras with his arm in a sling to recount his experience in police custody. Following his 2003 music arrest, the King of Pop leveled allegations against the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department, claiming officers handled him with a roughness that left his wrists and back bruised. He described being locked in a foul-smelling restroom for nearly an hour, an ordeal he believed was designed to humiliate him. Once I went in the restroom, they locked me in there for like 45 minutes. For a man who lived in extreme insulation, this collision with the law was a catastrophic shock. Authorities struck back, releasing surveillance footage to demonstrate the music singer had been handled according to standard protocol. They argued any marks were the result of routine handcuffing and that Jackson was attempting to manipulate music public opinion. This disagreement turned a legal procedure into a serious battle over victimhood and police conduct. Eventually, the clash showed the animosity between a global icon and law enforcement, music signaling that his upcoming trial would be fought as much in the court of public opinion as in a room of law. Iconic glove story. The world's most famous glove started as a secret, masking a personal struggle that Michael Jackson eventually transformed into a global icon. While the public viewed the single rhinestone accessory as a bold fashion statement, the gloved one was actually using it to camouflage the early signs of vitiligo on his hand. While Jackson's longtime dermatologist later confirmed the glove helped hide the skin condition, the accessory also became a deliberate piece of performance art that redefined his stage presence. By turning a medical reality into a signature trademark, music Jackson managed to protect his privacy while creating a legendary visual brand. This strategic fusion of vulnerability and showmanship is being highlighted anew in 2026 as fans rediscover his story through a more empathetic lens. Following the latest biopic, as interest in his past music surges, the hunt for these holy grail artifacts has reached a fever pitch. In April 2026, multiple iconic gloves headed to the auction block in California and Paris, with a crystal-studded version from the Bad Tour estimated to fetch up to €150,000. Music, these aren't just stage props. They are considered sacred relics that captured the moment a visionary redrew the boundaries of pop culture. For a new generation of collectors, the glove remains the ultimate symbol of Jackson's genius, a shimmering piece of theater that turned an uncomfortable truth into an immortal tradition. Strange discoveries inside Michael Jackson's mansion and the 2003 FBI raid continue to fuel debate and speculation. From hidden rooms to seized files, every detail has been reinterpreted over time. Music, in the end, what remains is mystery, with questions and theories still surrounding Neverland long after the investigation ended.